Welcome back, everyone. So I've been thinking about this child grooming gang situation, and it's beyond incredible, isn't it? It's beyond unbelievable. It's incredibly unbelievable. Bear with me, and I'll tell you why. Because when you consider all of those MPs that voted against an inquiry, a proper inquiry into child exploitation, child abuse, child grooming, who would vote against such an inquiry? Who? Would you vote against an inquiry into the abuse of children? I know the answer. It's the same as me. The answer will be no. Of course you wouldn't vote against it. You'd want to know the truth. You want to get to the bottom of it. You want the perpetrators and the instigators and the facilitators. You want them all in court in front of a judge. I cannot for the life of me understand or even think of a reason why any member of parliament would vote against a child grooming gang inquiry unless there was something in it for themselves. What could be in it for themselves? Let's have a look at the possibilities. Well, I think the biggest reason is because they don't want to alienate a certain demographic when it comes to voting. Incredible, absolutely mind-blowing that they would put their own careers, their own seat in the house, their own wage packet ahead of child safety and ahead of child grooming victims. I can't get my head around that. So we park that to one side. What's the next reason? Well, they could be involved themselves, or they could have friends that are involved, or they know damn well that this goes so deep in British society that it could bring down the entire establishment. I mean, how can any government, how can any institution, how can a system, how can a state survive if it was revealed that our police, our councillors, our councils, the government, the judicial system, all of these people knew what was going on and chose to ignore it? How could they survive that? Well, the answer is they couldn't, could they? And that is why I conclude that these people vote against the child grooming gang inquiry, because they know the outcome if that inquiry was done properly, independently, and revealed the truth. What would it lead to? Would it lead to civil unrest? Would it lead to police chiefs, police officers, councillors, MPs going to jail? So we know how corrupt the system is, but as British people, we can never, ever, ever let this go. We simply must not ever let this go. And I know that Rupert Lowe and people like Ben Habib are determined to get to the bottom of this, but they can't work alone. They need help. As a nation, as a people, as parents, as grandparents, we must demand from every single MP in the House that a full grooming gang inquiry does take place. It is done properly, independently, brings out the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And when that truth is found, if it is found that there are people who facilitated this, ignored it, they must end up in front of a judge. It's as simple as that. There's no ifs or buts, there's no middle ground. And for me, there's no doubt that there are dozens and dozens, probably more like hundreds and hundreds of people in a position of power. Some of them may have now retired, that will be sitting there thinking, my God, if this ever comes out, I'm in big trouble. Well, my message to them is that we are less than 4 years now away from the next election, and whatever happens, whoever it may be, we will have a centre-right party in power at the next general election. So it's time for you guys out there that facilitated these child grooming gangs to be afraid. It's time to be very afraid, because ultimately society and the law will come after you, they will find you, and you will be punished. You cannot take part in the abuse of our children and hope to get away with it, not long term, because that's not what the British do. We love and protect our children. Our women and our children are very precious to us, and ultimately those people must be brought to book, and they must be made to answer for their crimes. And if they didn't commit a crime themselves, if they just facilitated these crimes and ignored them and turned a blind eye, well, I'm sorry, that's not going to wash. That's not going to wash with the next government that the UK is going to have. Now, I'm hoping that government will be Advance UK, but if it's not, it's still going to be a centre-right party that is still, hopefully, going to come after these people. Just like the Nazis at the end of the Second World War, they scrambled to cover their tracks. As the Allies closed in, the Nazis struggled and tried to cover their tracks at Auschwitz, at Belsen, at Dachau, at the concentration camps that they set up. They tried to cover their tracks, but of course the truth always comes out. And this is where we are at today in 2025. I believe, and I'm going to say it out loud, that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of MPs in the House right now, most of them within the Labour Party, that know exactly what went on, know exactly how it went on, knows exactly why it went on, and knows exactly who's behind it. And they are all the ones that lied and that have tried to deny our children, abused children. Remember, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about one miscarriage of justice that might cost the taxpayer millions of pounds to put right. We're not talking about a minor incident down the pub on a Friday night that needs to be rectified. We're talking about the mass abuse of our children. It's as bad as it gets. It does not get any worse. And these people wanted to deny that inquiry. I don't care where you live. I don't care what region or what party you support. Google your MP's name. Did they vote for or against the child grooming gang inquiry? If they voted against it, if they voted against an inquiry into the mass abuse of our babies, of our children, some as young as 8, 10, 12 years old, if they voted against bringing those perpetrators to justice, well, I'll leave the decision to you. Would they ever get your vote again? Really, this grooming gang inquiry situation must come to a conclusion. And it can only end with large public show trials where each and every one of these participators and facilitators are put on trial, shamed to the world and sent to bloody jail where they belong.